So, the last episode, I told you guys that I decided to say, fuck it, I'm going to do balls to the walls, full-time meth dealing, going to be high all the time, and things were going good. I was getting this product for free, basically, and everything was going good, and that's where I left off. We're going to explore what happened next in this episode.
Oh my god, we're fucking rich.
Welcome back, everybody, to my story, part 2. Last time we left off I was telling you how different it is, the difference between meth and alcohol. Before using meth, I used alcohol for 20 years. I started when I was 13 years old. Anyways, that's that part of the story. We're not talking about that. So what was different, the main difference is when I was drinking and hanging out in the bars with my buddies and everybody else. Now, if you would do somebody dirty when you were drinking, you had to answer to them or their friends or their relatives, their brothers, their dads at the bar. So that made everybody accountable. So nobody was being too evil out there. Now with meth, everything is done one-on-one. Or maybe there's going to be 3 in the room. But of course, when you're buying and selling drugs, you don't want a whole crowd of people. So that's where the difference was. And so when there would be a time when, let's say, someone's brother was getting out of line at the bar and you straighten his ass out, pretty soon you're going to have his brother or his dad come and saying, hey, what the hell you doing? And you're going to go, oh shit, sorry, and this and that. So alcohol, although everybody's getting really drunk and making huge mistakes and making bad decisions, they always knew that if they blacked out, you're going to have to find out the next day if you said anything stupid or if you did anything that you're going to regret. Everybody knows this, as a lot of people have blacked out from alcohol. But in the drug world, let's say a friend of mine, now he's my dealer or my partner or the guy who is the big cook, the big chef of the town, and I have to get my meth from him. Then let's say I give him a bunch of money. Let's say I give him $200. He says he's going to bring me some meth in 2 hours or 2 days, and he doesn't show up. So this really pisses you off because while this is going on, you got your phone ringing off the hook because maybe some people gave you their money to run with. So now they're pissed off, they're impatient, they're addicted, they're high, they want to get high, and maybe they have wives that are addicts also, and they're getting screamed at by their wives. Everybody wants drugs, and they gave you money, and so I have to bring it to them, but then my guy isn't bringing it to me. So let's say he's a day and a half late. You're probably thinking, I'm going to kick his ass. Like, this guy's in trouble. Well, he shows up at my house, and guess what I do? I say, hey, buddy, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, wow, yeah. You're late. I surely could have used that yesterday. You know, my phone's been ringing off the hook, and, you know, geez, it really sucks that you showed up late. Not that I'm mad at you. Not that I'm mad. No, everything's cool. I'm sure you had a good reason. And, geez, you know, if I give you some more money, do you suppose I could just follow you and then get it right away? But not that I'm trying to rush you. You see what I'm doing here? I'm kissing his ass because he's the man. He's the guy. And if you piss him off and you say, you motherfucker, why weren't you here? My phone is ringing off the hook. My wife's pissed. My neighbor's pissed because he gave me money. Everybody's pissed. Why weren't you here? Why weren't you here? Well, he's just going to say, whoa, here's your fucking dope. Fuck you, whatever. And then when I call him the next day for some more, guess what? He's not going to answer his phone. So I'm fucked. Now I got to go find it from someone else. But I had the best hookup in town. His stuff was the best. So now what do? Now I'm fucked. Now I gotta do something else, which probably amounts to me saying to all my customers, "Hey, I had to pay a bill and I don't have any money, so I gotta get all your money up front because I don't have money to buy more." They don't know anybody else to get it from, so they're giving me money up front. And the reason I'm getting the money up front, even though I have all the money, because I know it's going to be an inferior product of what I had yesterday. And they're going to take it, and they're going to buy it, and they're going to be pissed. But you know what? They're not going to piss them on to me about it, because in their little world, I'm their man. So you see how fucking different it is in the meth world to the alcohol world? And this was something at this time that I had no idea. I had no idea what this was, and it was all new to me. And I couldn't go back to alcohol because I already told everybody that I quit drinking, and I didn't have a thirst to drink. And so now I'm in the meth world, and I'm addicted, and I'm stuck in this weird life. And I figured I'll just get clean. I'll kick this habit. I'll kick this in a month, in 6 months, in a year. I don't know, whatever. But I never had any idea it was going to last for another 15 years. So I was in this weird life and weird spot, but I found out I was really good at it. I was really good at dealing. My friends counted on me, and I was pretty fair. I was really fair. I wasn't an asshole, and so most of the people I was dealing with were my friends. I've known them since I was a little kid. So it's like we have history, you know. And the people I was dealing with, I just didn't deal with anybody. I had to trust them. I had to know who they were. I had to know their families. Because I had to take it slow because I didn't want to go to jail. I didn't want to go to prison. I didn't want my children to find out. At this time, this was probably 2000, let's just say 2004. My oldest daughter was graduating from high school. My next oldest daughter was in 5th grade, and my youngest daughter was in 3rd grade.
So how old were you at this point?
I was exactly 40 years old. Yep, I was 40 years old, and everything was rocking. We were making meth. It was easy money. It was free money. Like I said, $40 worth of pills would get us, 5-6 ounces of meth. So everything was still going good. I had my job. I had my business. Everything was going good. So I didn't know. I thought it was going to last forever. At this time was when one of my friends got busted with a tank full of a certain kind of gas that you can find or steal from farmers. And he got caught with one, and that was a manufacturing charge, and he went away for 4 years. He was my partner. So now I had to find someone else, and there was a lot of guys everywhere that I knew. And I thought this was going to last forever. Now, at this time, the legislation was changing. Public awareness was huge at this time. People were tired of their husbands losing their jobs and their kids not having birthdays and birthday presents, and sludge being found in creeks, and Grandpa Joe's stamp collection got ripped off and turned into cash or dope, and antique collector swords were getting stolen from their dads, and lawnmowers getting stolen out of sheds, and anything you can think of, all the thievery. And we're not even talking about the violence, but the cops were pissed. The state of Minnesota, the whole United States was getting pissed about this meth, this pandemic of meth use. Backyard labs all over the place being found, apartments and trailer houses being contaminated, where if a rental property was raided and they had a meth lab in there, At the very minimum, it cost $40,000 for the landlord, the homeowner, the rental owner to clean up. So a lot of them were just demolished. But then they started raising eyebrows about the children of the meth addicts. They were breathing all this. They were using meth. They were making it. They were smoking it. They were. I heard one story. And it's really a sad story, but it's the true story. A friend of mine knew a friend who, a guy and his wife, were meth users, meth addicts. They had a kid. The kid was about a year and a half old, and they smoked meth all day, and then in the middle of the night, when they finally passed out from being up for 4 days, they left their pipe in the ashtray, and their glass pipe, bubble, whatever you want to call it, the baby was crawling around while they're passed out sleeping. He was crawling around, he grabbed the meth pipe and started sucking on it, and the saliva from him mixed with what was inside of the pipe, and being that his tolerance, the baby's tolerance was so low that the baby, well, at first it wouldn't go to sleep, and then it stopped breathing. They were concerned. But luckily, they brought the baby in and they did a test, found out that the baby had meth in the system. They got the kid taken away, but luckily that the baby was not harmed too much. I think there was some permanent damage, I'm not sure, but so yeah, they lost their kid. They got in trouble. They got a felony of some kind. I can't remember what, but so things like this made the public awareness and the legislation pissed off because they were hearing more and more and more about it, and this was happening all the way down, like in the Carolinas was really bad. The Deep South was really bad. Yeah.
So how do you think this public awareness mixed with all these horror stories coming out, how did that affect sort of the mindset of the average meth user? Did it just put them on edge and they were more scared of the cops than ever? Or was there sort of a movement within the meth user community that it sort of made them realize maybe this is a mistake, maybe people need to start stopping using?
No, nothing like that. What this did is they, of course, tightened up everything. They dialed in everything. That now they had to be super cautious because they weren't going to quit. No one's going to quit. It's so rare to have anybody quit. Like, even the fact that I could get clean, it's like, it's unheard of. So it just made them more in tune of being more secret. Like when I first started, we could actually smoke meth outside, behind a fence, whatever. It was common. But then after this happened, then everything was more secretive. Everything was more hush-hush. Everything was, everybody talked more in code. And everything was on the down low. And then nothing was going on during the day. Everything was at night. The strangest thing was the smart people, or the smarter people, I should say, because they could run around, and I include myself in this group, but we chose to run around during the day and get lost in the crowd. But 80% of the people, 80% of the meth users thought that it was best to go run around in the middle of the night. And it was so weird because almost not everyone, but a large percentage of the drug deals happened at exactly midnight. I don't know why that was, but it was just really stupid. But pretty soon, like everybody waits. Everybody waits. No matter if you say, yeah, I'll be over to get some dope at 1 in the morning, you go there and you're waiting until 3. It's just part of it. Everybody waits for it. It's just one of the things. I don't know why that is. I'm sure there's a few theories, but so pretty soon you're out there. It's 4 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. So between 3 and 5, I can't remember when all the cops would punch in and punch out. I used to know their whole schedule, but between 3 and 5, it's like, well, I might as well just hang out because At 4:30, 4:35 is when people start going to work. That's when you hear cars going by, and you can just step outside and you can hear traffic. Even if it's a mile away, you can hear it. So you had to wait till that time came. And so yeah, it was really, really strange. The hours that I kept were strange. Now that you know what was going on with the public awareness about meth and what was happening at that particular time, I can get back to where I was at. Where I was at was I was still running around collecting up pills, and at first, before they took the pills off the shelves, which is going to happen, and we'll get to that, they put a limit on them. At one store, it would be 2 packs. 2 boxes you could get at a convenience store or a gas station. But then some of the stores had bigger boxes. So the 2 boxes, now you're searching for the 2 big boxes because they were only letting you buy 2. Some places didn't even hear of this new law, so you could still buy as many as you wanted.
To clarify, the pills you're talking about, those are the ones that were needed to create the meth, right?
Yes. So some of the places, they didn't know about this or didn't care. I didn't really ask them why I couldn't buy all of them. But I would go in and I would kind of like feel them out. I'd say, I'd grab 4, knowing that I could get 2. If they didn't say nothing, you'd say, you know what? I'm going to go hunting this fall, and I'm in charge of getting the sinus medication for all the hunters, so I'm going to grab a few more. And they'd be like, yeah, grab a few more. So I'd go back and grab all of them. So I'd grab all of them, bring them up, and pay for them, and it's like, cool. They didn't limit me, so that was all right. I got so much more. So then I'd go to big chain stores like Target, Walmart, and they had the larger boxes, or the time extended, or this or that. But so it didn't affect too much, but in the back of my mind, it was back of everybody's mind, we knew it was coming to an end. We knew that we had to come up with something, or it was just in the back of our minds. So what ended up happening was certain states got shut down first, and then you had to know a trucker who would cross into one of these states that they didn't have a limit. So then if you were lucky enough to know a trucker like that, you were still set. See, like at the time I was 40 years old, so I could go into all these grocery stores and everything else, and I could get groceries for my family, and I was 40 years old. So I didn't fit the profile of somebody who was collecting Sudafed. Usually there were 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, and they're all strung out and missing their teeth and shit like this. So I was able to hide underneath the radar and go in and keep on buying, my wife was kind of surprised that I was so thoughtful because I was doing all the grocery shopping. Just part of my double life, part of my lie that I was keeping on going. Kids, it's like my daughters were happy when I came home because I had more groceries and more treats, and it was all part of the facade that I created. So so that was going on. And then when they took them off the shelves, you were allowed to sign for them. And then, but before I go there, I'm going to back up one little bit because I got to tell this story. So I go into Target, and I go in and I grab all my groceries and stuff, and I grabbed my 2 large boxes of Sudafed. And when you got your groceries and your Sudafed, and you walk up to the checkout, you got to pick out the dumbest looking checkout person to hopefully there ain't nothing going on that's funny. So I pick out this guy and I go through the line, and he looks at me and he has a surprised kind of a look, and he gets on the mic and he said something like code 242 or something like that. I don't know what the code was. So I grabbed my stuff and I got out of there as fast as I could, and I jumped in my car, and I get in my car and I started driving out of the parking lot, and I see some other car, and it looks like an undercover car. It's coming after me, so I gun it and I get out of that parking lot. I hit the next intersection. There's a stoplight, and luckily it turned yellow, and I got through that, and I went across the intersection, took a left into the next parking lot, through a Shopko's parking lot up to the grocery store, big chain grocery store, and I dipped in there and I parked. And I'm just sitting in my car, sweating it out, and here comes that car, and he was just gunning it. And of course, it was a cop. Zoomed right by me, right behind me, and he's cruising around the parking lot, and I'm watching him. And I got out of my car and I walked in, and I went and got some more groceries and some more pills because at this time I'm thinking, I got away, yes, and all this excitement. This is I guess what I lived for, And then I loaded up more groceries in my car, took the Sudafed. Then I went home, and supper was waiting for me. I brought in more groceries, and then I ate supper. I was kind of sweating it out, man, because it was intense. And wife's bitching, "Where have you been? Why did it take you so long?" Blah blah blah, this kind of stuff. And I made up some more lies, and so then we get done eating, talking to the kids a little bit, see what they're doing for the evening. And then it was 6 o'clock at night, time to go out in my bike shop and work. Went out to the bike shop, and everything I did had a rhyme or reason. Like, I always kept a stack of brand new Frisbees because I had a German Shepherd, like this one here. Hey boy, how you doing? And so I played Frisbee with my dog, but the reason I had a stack of them was I'd have 3 Frisbees in front of me, and I'd pop them pills, and pop them into this Frisbee so it'd catch them all. And then, of course, the bike shop, I couldn't lock it. It had to be open. I didn't want anyone to get suspicious, so if I heard someone come in, I'd take the bottom Frisbee and put it on top. I set it aside. That was how I hit them. So then someone would leave again, my kids, my daughters, my wife. They'd come in, they'd see the Frisbees. My dog was always wanting to play, so they were invisible. They would leave, I'd grab them again, I'd flip the top one back over, whoops, and then I would start popping pills again. It took a long time because you're popping 800,000 pills, and yeah, it was wild. It was weird, but this was the life that I was leading, and I couldn't stop because I was addicted. And so that went on, and then they finally took the pills off the shelves. So 2006, I was 42 years old, and I have been anticipating the fact that they're going to take them off the shelves, take the pills off the shelves. And once again, for many months, a year before that happened, I was telling myself, when they take the pills off the shelves, I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit before they take the pills off the shelves. That's going to be the perfect time to quit. But that didn't happen. And what I found out next, I realized that I was going to have to sell the meth that the Mexican cartels were selling. I had a couple connections, and although I didn't want to, all the money that we were making, I knew it was going to be a big difference. What I didn't ever plan on, and I didn't realize this, but the meth we were making was a happier, have fun kind of a buzz, and the meth that the Mexicans have is not as potent, and it's a real edgy kind of a chip on your shoulder kind of buzz. It wasn't a happy buzz at all. So we'll talk about that next time, and how everything changed and how everything got worse and nothing ever got better.